wanted to talk about eating disorders and other addictions because I feel like, or often what I see is people with eating disorders often have other addictions such as alcoholism, drug abuse, sexual promiscuity, or cutting, or some other form of self harm. It just always seems synonymous. I mean, it always seems like it goes together, you know? The eating disorder sometimes isn't enough to fuel our release, and we already have addictive personalities that anything that just comes our way just sounds soothing, and why not? Heck, why not give it a try? I mean, you don't love yourself hardly, you really don't love yourself if you're still stuck in the eating disorder. You wouldn't be doing this to yourself if you didn't care about yourself. So, I mean, I know that's hard to hear because a long time ago I was like, I care about myself. I don't want to die, but subconsciously I did want to die. I just wanted it over with. I wanted a way out. And anything I could get my hands on, anything that was soothing and gave me some sense of relief, outside of the eating disorder, something that I could take my mind off of the eating disorder, of the binges, the purges, and the restricting, of the pain and the guilt, I would go for it. I mean, anything. I never had a drug problem though, or sexual promiscuity. That I never had that kind of problem, but I did. Um, I didn't have alcoholism, but I experimented with alcohol, and I used alcohol, to take away the pain or the guilt, and just to numb away everything, numb away the loudness in my head. Because the alcohol seemed to work for that moment, but it only made things worse. Because then I would wake up and be in a worse mood, and the voices would be louder, and then I would have to deal with alcohol, and I would have to deal with not dealing with things. I let the alcohol deal with it. And I also went through um, the addiction of cutting myself and self harm, burning myself, cutting myself, hitting myself, scratching myself. That became an addiction in itself, and it started to feel good. It was something that also took my mind off the eating disorder, off the thought. It was something that I could punish myself with, um, because I hated myself. And whenever I would binge, um, I would purge, and I would automatically feel like I had to punish myself to just feel some sort of relief that, if you do this again, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to cut and cut. It's just like a demon inside of my head, um, telling me these things and forcing me to hurt myself. Because at times I didn't want to do it. And when I did it, it really did feel like a force. It felt like it was out of my control. Like the eating disorder and all these other addictions were controlling me. I was lost. I was inside of myself and like, hey, hello, where the heck are you? You know? Like, this is not you. This is crazy. You know? Um, but I could never find myself because I was letting all these things control me. And in the midst of that, I thought I was in control. I thought, you're on top of things, you have this in control. No, I never had control. Never had control in those moments. In that time that I had an eating disorder or that I had problems with alcohol or cutting. That was not control. That was out of control. And, I don't want to say totally today I'm in control. I don't believe that. I believe that God is in control. But I do believe my life is it's a much better direction. I'm going somewhere, I'm on the right path, you know, and I'm not turning to such extreme measures to numb away the pain. The measures that I take now are positive, healthy measures. Measures that aren't going to harm me or hurt people around me or have to deal with seeing people cry and wonder why I do the things that I do. People really literally thought I was crazy. Um, that I belonged in a psych ward because it was like I was demon possessed. it was just in me, and I was lost, and I was crying out for help. It was like my body was full of water, and I was drowning inside. And just anything that was there, anything that was handed to me, it was like, okay, I'll do it. It wasn't about thinking twice about it. It was just doing it because it was a way to numb the pain, and it was a way to numb the voices in my head. So that's what I believe. I believe eating disorders often go along with other addictions because we look for things to numb away the voices and the pain and the guilt. And until you rid yourself of the eating disorder, until you rid yourself of the guilt and everything is always blamed on you, then you're never going to stop with the other addictions. You're never going to have freedom, and you're never going to have peace unless you truly work on yourself, unless you truly do the work and just focus on all the positive things and focus on taking away the pain through a healthy way. You know, turning to God in prayer and going out with people that are understanding and supportive. And if it's distancing yourself from your family, if they're just too triggering, I mean, I recommend that because a lot of people would be like, you shouldn't just run away from it. I'm not talking about running away, but I'm talking about distancing yourself in a manner that if they say things and you can't handle it, then you don't need to be around that. One of the best things I did was move out and get married. I mean, once I did that, it was like a lot of the baggage that I had, went away. Not saying that all of a sudden my eating disorder was cured, no, but it was just like some of the things that I dealt with were just lifted away. The burden was lifted away because it was just so triggering to sustain my family. And now when I go visit my family, I am just overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could never live here again. Never. I mean, I love my family now so much to death, but there is no way I could be back there with them. It's just too triggering. The family situation is just almost too triggering for anyone that I know that has an eating disorder. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that topic, and yeah, I probably didn't have much to say about it because I just believe that along with those addictions, you have to first overcome the biggest addiction that you're dealing with. So, anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.